Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Dugout Daily. I'm Charlie, and I'm again joined by Dan, where in this one we are previewing the match where we host Fulham as we attempt to cut the gap on Premier League leaders Arsenal to 3 points on Wednesday night at the Etihad Stadium, fresh from our memorable triumph in a comeback 2-1 win at Anfield on Sunday through Bernardo Silva's equalizer in the 84th minute and an Erling Haaland stoppage-time penalty. How are you, Dan, mate?
Very good, thank you, Chips. Looking forward to it.
Great to hear. Definitely. Before we get going, make sure to like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell, and we'll start looking at both sides' form.
Fulham played Everton last time.
So starting with our form in all competitions, in the last 6, we've won 4, drew 1 and lost 1. That one defeat was against Bodo Glimt away in the Champions League stage on Tuesday the 20th of January after a Kasper Hu brace with 2 goals in 3 minutes, and Jens Petter Hauge made it 3-0 to Bodo Glimt. Ryan Shirky got a consolation for Manchester City as Rodri got sent off. We then beat Wolves 2-0 at home through Marmoush in the 6th minute and Semenyo in the 2nd minute of first half stoppage time. That was on Saturday the 24th of January in the Premier League. We then had another 2-0 win at home, this time against Galatasaray in the Champions League stage on the 28th of January through Haaland in the 10th minute and Shirky in the 29th. Then we had a 2-2 draw at Tottenham in the Premier League on Sunday, the 1st of February, with goals by Shirky in the 11th minute and Semenyo in the 44th minute, with a Dominic Solanke brace for Tottenham that day. We then beat Newcastle 5-1 on aggregate, 3-1 on the night in the League Cup semi-final on Wednesday, the 4th of February, after a Marmoush brace and Tiani Reinders for City. Anthony Elanga scored for Newcastle. And last time out, we had the memorable 2-1 win at Anfield with Dominic Szoboszlai opening the scoring for Liverpool in the 74th minute. Bernardo Silva equalised in the 84th minute, and Erling Haaland scored a 93rd minute penalty as Dominic Szoboszlai was sent off in the 13th minute of stoppage time. In our last 6 in the Premier League, however, it don't make us good reading as we have won 2, drew 3 and lost 1. That includes the wins over Wolves and Liverpool, the draw at Tottenham, and before that we had 2 1-1 draws in a row. First against Chelsea on Sunday the 4th of January, Tijani Reinders for City. Enzo Fernandez scored a 94th minute equaliser for Chelsea. And a 1-1 draw at home to Brighton with a Haaland penalty for City and Cairo Mitoma in the 60th minute for Brighton. Following that was the 2-0 loss at Old Trafford. The less said about that one, the better. What do you think about our form recently, Dan?
The recent form's been pretty poor for our standards. However, the last week have been more than decent. So, definitely. Yeah, I think that win at Anfield pretty much throws all form out the window and puts, that's like winning 4 games in a row, winning at Anfield for us. So, definitely. Yeah, I think we're looking pretty good going forward at the minute.
Definitely. And looking at Fulham's form in their last 6 in all competitions, they've won 3 and lost 3. That run started with a 2-1 win over Chelsea in the Premier League on Wednesday, the 7th of January. Raul Jimenez and Harry Wilson for Fulham in the 55th and 81st minutes, respectively. Liam Delap scored for Chelsea. Mark Cucurella was sent off in the 22nd minute of that game. They knocked Middlesbrough out the FA Cup in the 3rd round on Saturday, the 10th of January, 3-1. Hayden Hackney opened the scoring for Middlesbrough with goals by Harry Wilson, Emile Smith-Rowe and Kevin for Fulham. They then lost in the 91st minute against Leeds on Saturday, the 17th of January, through Lucas Nemecha in the 91st minute. They then beat Brighton 2-1 at home after going 1-0 down for a Yassine Ayari, Samuel Chukwueze, and a 92nd minute Harry Wilson winner in that one. They then lost at Old Trafford 3-2 with a 94th minute goal by Benjamin Sesko after a 91st minute equaliser by Kevin Casemiro, and Mateus Cunha put United 2-0 up as Raul Jimenez scored an 85th minute penalty. And last time out, they had a 2-1 loss at home to Everton with a Vitaly Mykolenko on goal to put them 1-0 up, an equaliser by Kiernan Dewsbury Hall, and an 83rd minute own goal by Bern Leno. In their last 6 in the Premier League, it is the 5 games previously mentioned, as well as a 2-2 draw at home to Liverpool with a 97th minute Harrison Reed equaliser. That followed a 94th minute goal by Cody Gakpo for Liverpool. Harry Wilson scored for Fulham and Florian Wirtz scored for Liverpool. What's your thoughts on Fulham's form, Dan?
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's too bad, to be fair. They've been, that's pretty much Fulham's standard form.
Yeah.
They're going to be a tough team to play against. Always have been. They'll definitely, they've got players that can hurt us. They've got some very good attacking players. They've got players such as Anderson and Leno in defence who are both, quality. It's definitely not going to be easy for us. But we should be winning this game.
Definitely. The goals scored for each team, then Manchester City have scored 88 in all competitions so far this season, 51 in the Premier League, 15 in the Champions League, 10 in the FA Cup and 12 in the Carabao Cup. Fulham have scored 43 with 35 in the Premier League, 3 in the FA Cup and 5 in the EFL Cup. The top scorers for both sides, Manchester City, it's Erling Haaland with 28, and Harry Wilson is Fulham's top scorer with 9. Next up then, we will look at the head-to-head record between these two sides. So there have been 77 previous meetings between these two sides. City have won 44, Fulham with 17 wins and 16 draws. The first meeting was back in February 1908 in the FA Cup third round, as it was a 1-1 draw at Hyde Road, followed by Fulham winning the replay 3-1 at Craven Cottage. City failed to win the first 3 encounters, but claimed our first win against Fulham in 1910 in a 3-1 home win in Division 2. City have won 22 out of 35 encounters in the Premier League era, with 15 of them being by at least 2 goals and 11 clean sheets. Fulham's strongest period was between 2003 and 2009, with 18 points from 12 games in the Premier League era, with 4 wins and 6 draws. And Fulham's last win over City in all competitions was 3-1 at the Etihad in April 2009. City have won the last 19 meetings across all competitions, which is the longest winning run by one team over another in English Football League history. And under Pep Guardiola, of course, he has won every single game he's had against Fulham. It makes good reading, that, doesn't it, Dan?
Yeah, I think the best reading, as you said, it's the best in Football League history. So you can't get much better than that. You can't get better than that. I think it's a game that should be done already, basically. I mean, I think we can't say it's done, but I think there's no better odds than us beating Fulham. So, it should be a good game. And I can't imagine they'll be bringing much hope. Obviously, they've not really won it yet. Well, they've won probably once at the Etihad. Really good reading for City. I think we should be able to get a win here easily.
Fingers crossed. So the recent encounter was just over 2 months ago in a dramatic 9-goal thriller at Craven Cottage on the 2nd of December, where City won 5-4 including Erling Haaland's record-breaking 100th Premier League goal. Of course, City are fresh off a dramatic 2-1 win over Liverpool at Anfield, as we're on 50 points from 25 games. A City win would temporarily close the gap to 3 points, who face informed Brentford on Thursday, Arsenal, as City aim to keep pressure on the Gunners with 13 games remaining. City are in excellent shape at the Etihad with 44 points from 51 available in the last 17 Premier League home games, with 14 wins, 2 draws and a loss, and we're unbeaten in the last 11 with 9 wins. We've not lost a midweek Premier League home game, that's on a Tuesday, Wednesday or Thursday, since May 2010. Unbeaten in the last 55 such matches, 47 wins and 8 draws. As mentioned, City have won the last 19 meetings against Fulham in all competitions, as Fulham sit 10th with 34 points, 10 wins, 4 draws, 11 losses. As they chase European qualification, they're hampered by inconsistency with 3 defeats in their last 4 Premier League games as well. And recently they've had good wins like beating Brighton at home, for example. Fulham have poor record against sides starting the match in the top 3, and as they've only won 3 such matches in the Premier League era, against United in 2003, Tottenham in 2013, and Chelsea in 2024, with 9 draws and 32 losses, as Bernardo Silva has lost all 13 top-flight meetings against City, which is the worst 100% loss record for a manager against one opponent. And Fulham have lost the last 8 league visits to the Etihad by an aggregate score of 25-4. Again, it's good reading, isn't it, Dan?
Yeah, really good reading. I think our home form, it speaks for itself, really. I think, again, tomorrow we should be so confident, especially coming off what happened on Sunday. You know, that team, you'd expect to be fresh. You should expect to be up for it from minute one, and you should expect for them to be able to get the game done, preferably in the first half, which they're more than capable of doing. So, you know, you've got to hope that's the team that turns up. I think Fulham will struggle.
Yeah, fingers crossed. Next up then, we will look at Erling Haaland's record against Fulham. So, Haaland's record against Fulham for City: played 7, won 7, scored 7, with 3 assists. Some key points in his City career against Fulham: he scored a dramatic 95th minute winning penalty to secure a 2-1 win in November 2022 at the Etihad. He opened the scoring with a 3rd minute penalty in another 2-1 win in April 2023 at Craven Cottage. He scored a second half hat-trick in 37 minutes in a 5-1 rout in September 2023 at the Etihad. And then his next goal against Fulham was in May 2025 at Craven Cottage, where he scored a penalty on the final day of last season. And in the last match between these two sides, he scored and provided 2 assists in a thrilling 5-4 win, as previously mentioned, his 100th goal in the Premier League, of course, in record time. It makes good reading again, that, doesn't it, Dan?
Yeah, I mean, clearly Fulham's he's stronger against Fulham than most. His record seems to be pretty good against Fulham, and I think, you know, it should be resuming that tomorrow. As you say, 7 games, 7 wins. I think, you know, he'll be able to hopefully get a goal, do something as he always has done against Fulham. I don't really recall him blanking against them.
No.
And he always does well. So yeah, I think tomorrow, if we start him, he should definitely be up for it, and should definitely be getting back up to his best.
Fingers crossed. Next up then, we will look at the team news of both sides and our predicted 11s. So the team news for City, starting with the players that are out and are doubts. Abdulkadir Kushinov is a minor doubt with a blow to the face against Liverpool on Sunday. He came off as a concussion sub and is to be assessed, but Pep said he is fit. Jeremy Doku was forced off in the Champions League win over Galatasaray 2 weeks ago with a calf injury. His expected return is in the next week or so. Similar time frame to Savinho, who has missed the last 11 games. John Stones has recently returned to training. His fitness, he won't be match fit, so I'd be surprised if he plays any part here. Josko Vardiol is out with a tibial fracture, which required surgery, and he's in danger of missing the rest of the season. Mateo Kovacic as well is out with a ankle injury following an Achilles surgery in the summer. He's made 2 sub appearances this season and is expected to be out until at least next month. Positives, however, we were boosted by Bernardo Silva's return on Sunday, as well as Ruben Diaz, who featured as a sub after missing the previous 8 games through injury. As both Portuguese men are now fit, of course, Bernardo, captain, and scored the equaliser, got man of the match as well. Next up then, we will look at our predicted 11s. So we start with my predicted team. I've gone with Donnarumma in goal, a back 4 of Nunes, Diaz, Guehi and Aït-Nouri, with Rodri and O'Reilly in midfield. Semenyo off the left, as he has got 5 goals in his last 3 Premier League games against Fulham, as well as 2 assists, including 3 goal contributions in a 3-1 win for Bournemouth earlier in the season. Captain Bernardo Silva behind Erling Haaland, who is, of course, a major threat. And I've gone with Ryan Cherki out on the right. Looking at Dan's team then, he's gone for the same back 5, Donnarumma, Nunes, Diaz, Guehi and Aït-Nouri, with Gonzalez in midfield next to Bernardo Silva, Cherki, Foden and Semenyo behind Haaland in attack. What's your thinking behind that team, Dan?
I think that gives certain players a rest. It sort of brings other players back into the fold, such as Foden, come back in. He's had a few games out now, hopefully to give himself a mental reset, and we'll be able to be back to where he was before Christmas. I think Gonzalez will come in because Rodri looked very tired after the game at Liverpool on Sunday. I think he'll definitely play a part. I think the back 5 says itself. The only doubt for me is Diaz, who potentially maybe go to Ake, because depending on whether he can start or not. And then I think, Haaland up top. Bernardo Silva's never getting dropped. So, I think that speaks for itself, really.
Yeah, definitely. Next up then, we will look at Fulham's team news, but their injuries. Sasa Lukic is out with a thigh injury, and the captain Tom Kearney is out with a calf issue as he missed the Everton game at the weekend. Next up then, we will look at what Sportsmole predicts their starting 11 are going to be. So here is what Sportsmole have predicted Fulham's lineup's going to be tonight while you're watching this, tomorrow night while we're recording. They've gone with Bernd Leno in goal as expected, a back 4 of Kenny Tete at right back, in for Timothy Castagna, Joachim Andersen next to Calvin Bassey at centre half, with Anthony Robinson at left back in for Ryan Sessegnon, an unchanged double pivot of Sander Berge and Alex Iwobi, with Harry Wilson out on the right, their top scorer with 9 this season. Emile Smith-Rowe hoping to hold off competition from Josh King in the number 10 role, and January signing from City, Oscar Bob, for £27 million. Made his debut as a sub at the weekend against Everton and could earn his first start on either flank, potentially threatening Chukwueze's place. Of course, he got a brace against City at Craven Cottage earlier in the season. And up front, Raul Jimenez is expected to start, but Rodrigo Muniz is now fit and available as competition. What's your thoughts on that team, Dan?
Yeah, it's a decent enough team in it for Fulham's standards. Of that, I think there's a few decent players in there. I look at the two wingers. You've got Bob and Wilson. We all know how good Bob can be. That's going to be a really weird sight seeing him in another team's kit at the Etihad.
Yeah.
I think Jimenez, he's always proven that he's a decent enough number 9. Where I do feel like City can get at Fulham though would be, I feel like Robinson and he'll push up a bit, leaving the back 3 there exposed. And I think the double pivot there isn't anywhere near the standards of any of City's midfield. So I think that's definitely where we should be getting a lot of joy. But I do think you do have to watch out on that counter attack. Harry Wilson, he will be able to, he can score from miles out. So anything that he can do, don't let him shoot whatever we do.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Especially with a player like Anderson with his ability to ping balls over the top. Yeah. I think there's definitely sections of that team that we should worry about, but I do think that there's a big area in the middle there specifically that I think City should be able to get a lot of joy.
Definitely. Next up then, we will look at what Pep Guardiola's had to say before the game, and then it's time for our score predictions.
Fulham.
So Pep Guardiola has said that John Stones has made 3 or 4 training sessions with the team after 2.5 months out. So it's step by step for him. That to me says he's not going to play. On Oscar Bobby said, we don't have any doubts about his potential. It depends on him, what he wants to become. If he wants to become a top-class player, he will be a top-class player. He has all the attributes. And finally, on Marco Silva, he said he is one of the top managers he's faced, destined to be one of the top in a few years for sure. What's your thoughts on what Pep's had to say there, Dan?
Yeah, he's not said much, has he, this afternoon?
No.
Obviously, a lot said about, former City Academy graduate Bob coming back. I think that this whole game will be based around how he does, to be fair, if he starts. But obviously, he's doing his standard John Stones injury update, which, he's getting better, but, we'll only have him back for probably 2 or 3 games and then he'll be gone again. So there's not much to read into there. I think just a fairly bog standard press conference. He's not said a lot there. But I think we all know what to expect. So there's not much to say.
Definitely. And it's time for our score prediction. If the reverse fixture is anything to go by, then we could be in for another Premier League cracker tonight, with both sides expected to adopt a positive, attack-minded approach. Taking into account City's exceptional head-to-head record against Fulham, our strong home form, and the Cottagers' recent dip, it's difficult to back against the citizens on this occasion. A home win with both teams scoring could be on the cards, so I've gone for a 3-1 City win. What about you, Dan?
Yeah, very similar. I've gone for a 3-0 City win. I have the confidence after Sunday. I think the team will have a new sense of confidence and I think we'll be able to keep a clean sheet. I think, I don't know whether it'll be the most exciting game to watch, but I think we'll definitely have a lot of control. We'll put a few goals in, probably in the first half. I just think that we'll go into cruise control and try and win the game without stressing too much and hopefully not having a repeat of what we did at Fulham a few months ago. Anything but that, please, City.
Yeah, it was a very stressful last 20 minutes or so that night. So that is it for this video then. The review for this match will be out on Thursday morning, with the match on Wednesday night. And we'll see you all then. Everybody, thank you all so much for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe if you're new around here. And we'll see you for the match review on Thursday morning. Everybody take care, and we'll see you soon. And come on, City.